Hey everybody, what's up? Had a couple of requests for an unboxing video on my newest set of trading cards, or rather my newest box of trading cards. Never done one of these before, figured I'd give it a shot. So about to get into it. Any of you that are taking the time to watch it, review it, please leave some comments. Let me know how I can improve. As you can see, my face is not on the camera because this video is about the cards and not about me. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Here is the cards that I got. As you can tell, I am new to this. I know the image is reversed. Have not figured out how to fix that just yet. I will down the line though. But regardless, let's talk about the cards. So what I have here is an unopened box of 2018 Fleer Ultra X-Men. These are put out by Fleer and Upper Deck together. As you can see here, this is a sealed box. Lots of different X-Men art around. Sealed box, 6 cards per pack, 12 packs per box. So we're going to be opening up 12 packs in this video. A little bit of backstory. Fleer put out a lot of X-Men cards in the early 90s, starting with the inaugural set in 1994, which was hugely successful. Then they had a follow-up set in 1995. Again, pretty good. Artwork was a little bit better, I think. A couple more subsets. Then we got to the Marvel Chromium Fleer, which I want to say was also late 95. Every card in the set was chromium. If you were a comic collector in the 90s, then you know that's what they were doing with covers. Why not do it with the trading cards? And there was also the Marvel Metal, which was a different take on the chromium. They weren't chromium, they were more like foil, very shiny, and the subsets were named after different gems, like just precious gem set here and things like that. So what this series is a harkening back to those that I just named. There's a lot of throwback cards in those similar styles from those old series. So it's very member berries. It's all about the X-Men. So here we go. I've already pre-cut a slit into the plastic so that we could get that box open easily. Put that over there. It does have a little tape seal. As you can see, I just broke the seal. And when we open it, wow, these are some thick cards. Nothing special about the inside of the box. Oh, should have covered this. So obviously, only 12 packs, 6 cards per pack. We're not going to put together a whole set. The information on the bottom, which is going to be very difficult for you to read in the video. This box contains an assortment of Marvel Fleer Ultra X-Men trading cards, randomly inserted or into specially marked packs are the following. So a base card parallel heroes and villains set. There's a silver version, 1 and 2 packs, so we should round out about 6 of those. Gold, numbered 299. Red autograph 250. Canvas numbered to 1. There's also Dead and Gone, Greatest Battles, Deadpool Around the World, the originals, X-Men 92 insert parallels. Man, there's a lot. There's also X-Cuts, black and blue, yellow, red. There's metal blasters. There's precious metal gems, bronze, red, blue, green, purple, gold. There's jambalayas. There's Master of Magnetism, connected image cards, cut comic panel cards, single and dual varied numbering sketch cards, stacks cards. Stacks cards are really interesting. You have to take like 3 different cards to put together the entire image. Very hard to get all of them together. Foil, 1994 Fleer Ultra buybacks, 1995 Fleer Ultra buybacks. Whew, there is a lot of possibilities inside this one box. This will probably not be my only box that I get, but it is my first one. So, all right, here's your pack. Same artwork from the box. Pretty cool. Really, there's got to be some additional stuff in the pack because this is a very meaty pack of cards. All right, so here we go. Okay, wow, now I see. All right, so Fleer back in '94 also made another series from Marvel called Fleer Flair. They were very popular with the sports cards. They were a premium, so they didn't come in a pack, they came in a box, and they were printed on an extra thick cardstock. I see now why these packs are so big, because these, as you can see, are printed on that extra thick cardstock, okay? Very thick from a normal trading card. So, here we go. First one, Kitty Pryde, Shadow Cat, and it's done in the style of the '94 Fleer X-Men. We've got a Polaris. Pretty cool artwork there. We've got Storm, and this is part of the X-Men '92, so it's Storm basically from the animated series. Pretty cool. That's it's numbered X10, if you can tell. I know it's backwards on the video, but pretty interesting. We have a Legion, and he seems to be one of those silver embossed parallel cards. For those of you that don't know about Legion, he is the son of Charles Xavier and Gabrielle Haller. Pretty cool. The other thing about these that was neat is the little back info. They'll give you a brief little bio, and they'll also give you an explanation into their mutant powers, which is kind of cool, you know. A lot of people are like, oh, what does this character do? How does this character's power work? Things like that. This one's kind of cool. So it's the Blob, but it's on the metal style card. So it's silver foil. It's got the metal logo. So back in the day when that metal series was out, every single card looked very similar to this. Pretty cool. Just says Metal Blaster 7. And then we got Krakoa, the Living Island. Most of you, if you know your X-Men history, know that Krakoa showed up in Giant Size X-Men. He was a sentient island that had abducted the original X-Men. So Xavier first put together a team in Deadly Genesis. All those students were killed except for Darwin, and Vulcan survived to later come out and be the third Summers brother. But Krakoa himself was dealt with by the Giant Size X-Men, which included Nightcrawler, Storm, Banshee, Thunderbird, and of course everyone's favorite Canadian, Wolverine. All right, so that was pack one. Here we go with our second pack. Nothing crazy out of that first one. All right, so we got X-23, again, done in the '94 style. Decent artwork for those of you that aren't familiar with this character. This is she started off as the quote-unquote clone of the Wolverine. It was recently discovered in the miniseries, one of the Hunt for Wolverine miniseries, possibly Adamantium Agenda, where it was discovered that X-23 is not a clone, but she is the legitimate daughter of Sarah Kinney and James Howlett. Okay, here's a nice little baddie for us, Mr. Sinister. I've always loved the aesthetic of this guy. Very cool villain. Dr. Nathaniel Essex, obsessed with Apocalypse. And, well, he served Apocalypse. He was obsessed with the Summers bloodline, specifically Cyclops. And we got a nice little throwback to the '94 X-Men, the Wolverine versus the Hellfire Club. So this was a card that was originally in that '94 set, but not with this artwork. As you look on the back, this is a Greatest Battles subset. It's got nice little information about it. forget if it says what issue it was. No, it does not, but it's a really cool issue of the X-Men if you look it up. Then we've got Mojo in that silver parallel set. So apparently the parallel set, it's going to be the same image as the regular card, but it's going to have these silver embossed X's all over it. And I imagine if we happen across a gold or whatever, it'll be the same thing. We got a precious metal gold here of Hope Summers. So pretty cool. Hope Summers is the first mutant born after M-Day. M-Day was when Scarlet Witch basically decided no more mutants, and she reduced the population down to 198. For a while, the mutants thought they were going to go extinct. Hope Summers was the first mutant infant born. Then there was this mad grab between Sinister and his Marauders, the Purifiers, the X-Men, everyone trying to find this baby. It was eventually Cable who ended up getting the baby, taking her to the future, very similar to what happened to him, and raising her as his daughter. And she came back and adopted his name of Summers. And then closing out that last pack is just a standard card of Deathbird, sister of Lilandra. Yeah, and bad guy from the Shi'ar Empire. Okay, pack number 3. You guys let me know in the comments if I'm giving too much detail or if you don't like all these extra facts. I have not had time to research. I'm trying to do it all from memory. So if I flub something, please call me out on it, because your feedback is what's going to make me better. Here we go. Here we got Corsair. So yet another Summers that we're going to talk about. Corsair is the father of Cyclops, Havoc, and Vulcan, or Scott, Alex, and Gabrielle Summers. Standard card, decent artwork. Richter, member of X-Force. I believe he also came out as openly homosexual recently, possibly in a relationship with Shatterstar, if I'm not mistaken. So Richter, he's kind of in my opinion, he was never that great a character. He's very similar to Avalanche from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. He has the ability to control seismic energy, and he has a bit of a bond with Earth himself, so he kind of causes earthquakes, if you will. Next up, we've got Deadpool visiting the Eiffel Tower. So I know you either love Deadpool or you hate him. I'm kind of over the hype myself. It's a decent little card. If you look on the back, it looks like a postcard. Shows where the Eiffel Tower would be located. So look at Deadpool giving you a little geography lesson. Also, there's a fun fact. High temperatures cause the Eiffel Tower to expand, altering its height by up to 6 inches. So the Eiffel Tower might even be a mutant. Anyway, he writes on the back, "Dear Spidey, Cable, say, isn't France where you go? Oh, where your gal and your arch enemy." Sorry, I forgot who's getting these. C'est la vie. So, typical Deadpool. He starts talking and then loses train of thought. We've got a Blob, Silver X over. So, seems to be a lot of villains that I'm pulling with that. Right? I should probably be sorting them. So I'll do that now before I get too far along. I don't know that any of them are true chase cards yet. We'll figure that out at the end. It's very confusing because some are chase and some are just subsets built within the basic set. By the way, I don't think I said the basic set has 150 cards in it. Obviously, we're not going to come anywhere near completing that tonight. We have Tempest. Truth be told, I don't know a whole lot about Tempest. I'd be lying if I did. It is another Precious Metals card. I believe she may have come from the Mutant Liberation Front, but I'll have to look up and figure out what that's all about. Okay, and here we go. Here's the regular Mojo card. So if we go back here, and we've got our silver parallel, you can see the difference. So standard silver So you're going to have a set of 150 like this, and you're going to have a set of 150 like this. And you're going to get 4 to 5 of these in a pack and only one of these. So theoretically, you're going to be doing at least 150 packs before you even come close to this whole collection. That's some serious cards there. Here we go with pack number 4. All right. Nice. First up is Chamber. I've always liked Chamber. His name is Jonathan Starsmore. He was a member of Generation X when it first started. Generation Next in the Age of Apocalypse, and then he later became one of the X-Men. Currently, he is in Uncanny X-Men, although he's not having a real good run of things. I don't want to spoil it in case you're going to read it, but he's going through some hard times. He was also once affiliated with Apocalypse and even took on a similar visage, if you will. And I'm probably saying that wrong. It's probably just supposed to be visage. But he looked like Apocalypse, which is a side effect sometimes to his machinations into transforming your body. And Apocalypse is, I guess you could look at him as some sort of demented or evil Tony Little. Anyway, then we move on to Vertigo. Vertigo was one of Sinister's Marauders. She participated in the Mutant Massacre when the Marauders took out the Morlocks after Gambit had recruited them. She also has ties to Polaris. She has taken her mind over and usually is in the employ of Mr. Sinister. All right, so here's our first that I've seen of this. The originals. There's going to be apparently 5 or 6 of them, and they basically show the original X-Men, how they started off. So here we have Iceman, very crude snowman type look. Here's what the back of that card looks like. Gives you a little history about X-Men #1, which of course came out in, 1962, I believe. Pretty much everyone is familiar with that image. If not, what are you doing watching this video? Our silver in this pack is going to be Deathbird. Sorry, I'm getting used to where that camera is. So, same Deathbird card as earlier, but now we've got the silver embossed. This is just a card holder here, a placeholder. There is nothing on it because we got this cool little Warpath card. This is Warpath, the younger brother of Thunderbird, and this is when he was in the Uncanny X-Force, led by Wolverine. Not sure exactly what type of card this is. It just says XC4. It seems layered, and it's die cut, and it's numbered 91 out of 99. Hard for you to see, I know, it's backwards. Gonna have to figure that out. Pretty cool though. That seems to be our first real chase card. And then our last card of the pack is going to be Cassandra Nova. Huge bad person. So it was written during, I want to say, Grant Morrison's X-Men run, that Cassandra Nova was Charles Xavier's twin sister who died in the womb. He had absorbed her consciousness, I believe, and years later she somehow managed to manifest. I'm probably wrong on that. I'll be honest, I didn't like the character, I don't like the story, so if I'm going to give you true information about it, I probably need to go back and read it again. She is, or was, starting to become relevant in the most recent X-Men Red comic, although that book was canceled a couple months ago, and all the X-Men books are about to be canceled because they're doing a line-wide reboot. So, anyway, here we are with pack number 5. Okay. First up, we've got Dust. Suraya Dadia? She's basically the new generation of mutants. She's one of the... I don't really remember when she started, but she joined the X-Men team. She can turn into dust, into sand. She can transport herself that way. She can hide that way. She's also got some magical resistance, and it's difficult to detect when she's in her sandstorm form. Next up is a Wolverine versus Cyclops battle. So this one's a new one, obviously, because when the 94 X-Men came out, Wolverine and Cyclops, they always had their unspoken or slightly subtle rivalry over Jean, but this is pertaining more to when the schism happened between the X-Men, and it was a difference of ideologies. Wolverine thought that the kids should be trained so they could continue Xavier's dream. Cyclops was much more determined to make a militaristic team that was going to ensure mutants survived at all costs. So, pretty cool little card there. Here we go with Lilandra. We kind of mentioned her earlier. As you can see, embossed silvers on it, not much. They kind of covered them with the throne, so it's kind of a weak version of that, but go ahead and put it in the stack. Then we got a Precious Metals Spiral. Spiral, the main henchwoman to Mojo, usually does his bidding, abducting people, assassinating. She has turned on him a couple times and even served in a version of X-Force under the leadership of Storm. It was a very short-lived team. She's kind of a tweener. Okay, here we go. We have a Stacks card. So this is really cool. I'm going to go ahead and we've got another one of these filler cards, but I'm going to put it behind it so you can really see the image. So a Stacks card, there's, I want to say 3 to a set. This one is numbered. Well, it's not numbered. It's just a Stacks Juggernaut card. Oh, wait, it is numbered. 8B. Anyway, basically it's not the full image. You need to find the other 2 cards and you stack them on top of each other to get the full image. Kind of a cool subset, kind of also a cash grab. I'll go ahead and put that in the stack of the really good cards that we got. Over here. And then finishing out that pack, Toad, Mortimer Toynbee, member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. He was one of the 198 mutants that still managed to keep their powers after Scarlet Witch's No More Mutants. He has been relegated to the role of henchman most of the time, usually following Magneto. Okay, pack number 6. Man, 22 minutes and we're only halfway through the box. I hope I'm not boring y'all. Here we go with Havoc. I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of the artwork. It looks kind of lame, to be honest, but no, it is what it is. I can say that when the first series came out, I felt that way. There were some cards that just didn't care for at all, and then others that I thought, man, that's really cool. Speaking of really cool, here's a Pyro. I really like the artwork there. This is, of course, the original Pyro, St. John Allardyce. He has the ability to manipulate fire. Common misconception, he cannot create it. He can manipulate it, and he is immune to it, or invulnerable to it. He cannot create it. That's why he wears that backpack with that harness, so that he always has a supply of fire at his hands. He was dead. He was killed by the legacy virus. Then someone else took over the name, and now I believe the original Pyro is back. I'm not sure how. I'd have to go back and read. So if my buddy Blake is watching this video, this one's probably going to piss him off a little bit. But there's a subset in here for Dead and Gone. And here he is, old James Howlett himself, Dead and Gone Wolverine. The reason this is going to upset Blake is because Wolverine is no longer dead. He was recently resurrected, but it was within the last few months, and these cards were printed and distributed last year. So don't worry, he's alive. But for the purpose of this series, he gone. Here we are with Jubilee, and she is also, this is an X-Men 92 silver parallel. So she's got the style infused by the animated series. but you still see those shiny little silver X's embossed. This is really kind of cool. Not particularly my favorite character, but I have, so it says on the back, you have received a hand-drawn, one-of-a-kind Marvel Art sketch card. Enjoy your original sketch card. So this is one of one. It is by James O'Reilly, and I believe it is meant to be Domino. Pretty cool. Basically, I'm the only person that's ever going to own this card unless I sell it, because it is the only one in existence. That's what makes collecting these cards so cool. You get something like that. Huge, one of a kind. As I said, I'm not really a huge fan of the artwork, but it's still kind of cool. I'll show y'all again up close. There's nothing on it to say that it's Domino, but she's got the diamond over the eye, she's got the Domino earring and the gun. So I'm going to assume this is just James O'Reilly's interpretation of what Domino looks like. Cool thing is, we got one of those really rare cards. Bad thing is, we got one of those really rare cards, so chances of them being another one in these 6-packs, slim to none. We're going to finish out with Mammamax, Maximus Jensen. He is an elephant-like mutant, and he was in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Not a whole lot that I know about this character. If I look at the back, he's got corrosive expulsion, which projects corrosive stomach acid that dissolves any material, and superhuman durability. So, yay for you, Mammamax. Alright, we're over the halfway mark. We're now in pack 7. So let's see. Okay, so we already showed you the X-Men 92 Jubilee. Here is the current series Jubilee. I'll be honest, I'm a fan of the art. I think it looks good. So this dude here, X-Man, this is Cable from the Age of Apocalypse, who managed to jump into our timeline before the Age of Apocalypse was erased, even though it turned out it was not erased. He's a big deal in comics right now. He whisked away pretty much all of the X-Men who were fighting him and some villains like Magneto, Apocalypse, Omega Red, and created the Age of X-Man, which is like a variation of the Age of Apocalypse. Should be coming to an end in comics real soon because, as I said, there's a line-wide reboot coming for X-Men. But he's kind of a big deal now. This portrays him as he showed in the 90s, in his 90s costume. Okay, then we've got Rogue versus Carol Danvers in the Greatest Battle set. For those of you who aren't aware, Carol Danvers is indeed Captain Marvel, but this is a long time ago when she was just known as Miss Marvel. And this is how Rogue ended up with some of her powers, her invulnerability, her flight. She got them by holding on to Carol Danvers for too long and basically absorbing most of her essence into her. We have a Deadpool Silver, X-Silver, or X-Parallel. And this is Chichen Itza, which is the most recognizable structure at Chichen Itza is the Temple of Kukulkan. On the spring and autumn equinoxes, the sun's shadow looks like a snake on the steps. So it looks like Venezuela. And he's doing his little Lion King bit with what appears to be a chimichanga. Maybe a taco, I don't know. It's Deadpool. Now we got the first one of these, and I'm so glad that it's this one because I can show you what the difference is. So early on in our second pack or so, we got this silver mojo. Well, now what we got is the gold mojo. So very similar. You've got silver embossed, you've got gold embossed, and if you remembered from earlier, we have a regular one over in that stack. So out of the 72 cards I got, 3 of them are the same with slight nuances. And then closing it out, we've got Mesmero, popular villain from the early X-Men days. And he came back recently too. Everything recent in the X-Men has been about going back to where things came from, so if you hear me say, oh, and he came back, and he came back, and he came back, that's part of their legacy initiative. Really what it says to me is it's part of Marvel trying to do right by the X-Men now that Disney bought Fox and they got the rights back. But I'm not one to gossip. All right. Pack number 9? No, 8. Pack number 8. Here we go. Reverend William Stryker. This dude is grade A villain right here. He is the type of villain that doesn't realize he's the villain. He thinks he's doing everything with the best interests of humanity in his thoughts. He's been augmented by Sentinel tech, which is what you can see on there, and a little bit of Reaver tech, so whatever it takes, basically, so that he can combat the X-Men. We have one here. Oh, it's Deadpool visiting Big Ben, kids. Yeah, so just another little Deadpool writing a card to Cable. Yeah, I know. We're done with the Deadpool stuff. All right, we got our silver parallel of Phoenix, Jean Grey, also recently resurrected. Pretty cool card. Then we've got the Stepford Cuckoos on a Precious Metals silver. So silver seems to be the most standard. The Stepford Cuckoos were sisters that have sort of a hive mind through telepathy, and Emma Frost uses them basically as her yellow pages for contacting people telepathically. She combines her powers with theirs to make her reach and range stronger. I believe they are in the... no, they are not. I believe they are still in the current world. They are not in the Age of X-Men storyline. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure if Blake watches, he'll correct me on it. And we got another Stax card. This one appears to be Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde. So, not going to help us with that Juggernaut one we got earlier. Remember, this is just the old placeholder. They don't want you to be able to pick up a pack and be like, oh, there's a Stax card in there. Although if I was using my postal scale, I probably could figure it out. Anyway, put that over here. And we're going to close that pack out with Nimrod. Nimrod is a future version of the Sentinels. He's basically the highest evolution of Sentinels. He adapts to whatever attacks are used on him so that they can't be used again. He merged with Master Mold, I believe, and they created the character named Bastion. Pack number 9. Whew. All right, here we go. Our little hero, Sean Cassidy Banshee. Now, this is interesting to me. Just a little while ago, we had the Dead and Gone Wolverine card. However, Banshee is not listed in the Dead and Gone series. At the time of these cards being made, I believe he was still pronounced dead. Could be wrong about that, but I thought he was. Either way, they're both back. Banshee is in some sort of weird zombified version now where he's not quite himself. Basically, he was killed during Deadly Genesis trying to stop Vulcan, and then he was resurrected by Apocalypse as a horseman during Rick Remender's run of Uncanny Avengers. And then the X-Men defeated him, but they didn't want to. I guess the Beast kept him in a form of suspended animation while he was trying to reverse what Apocalypse has done. And he kind of made some progress, but he's not quite there yet. We got Random, member of X Factor, also kind of two-faced. He worked for the Dark Beast. He also worked for the Marauders during that whole thing when I was talking about with Hope Summers earlier after M-Day. He was part of Sinister's Marauders. So was Gambit. Here, oh, Jesus, really? here we have Deadpool, and he is at Mount Fuji. Okay, still writing postcards to Cable. Standard card. If you're into Deadpool, it's pretty good artwork. So you're probably wondering why I said, oh Jesus. Well, this should show you that I don't have any idea what's in these packs. I have not looked at them beforehand. Here you go. Banshee, dead and gone. So there it is, and it's the silver parallel version of the dead and gone. So apparently he was just in there twice. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm really kind of excited about this one. This is the first buyback card that I've seen. So what a buyback card is, it's a reproduction of the original. So as you can see here, so this was the logo used in the 94 Fleer Ultra. What we have here is the logo that was used in the 95 Fleer Ultra. This is Magneto, but this card is the thin paper, so not like the cardstock we're dealing with here. And it is an exact reproduction of what that card looks like, along with this nice gold X embossed on it. So pretty cool. I'm all about the member berries, and who doesn't love the Master of Magnetism? Finish this pack out with a simple card of the Brood. Scary. Aliens. Right. Pack number 10. All right. First up, we have Sebastian Shaw, former Black King of the Hellfire Club. Okay, he worked with the X-Men at times. He's worked against them at times. He has the ability to absorb energy and redirect it. This also helps slow down his aging process and makes him slightly invulnerable. Then we've got Karma. Don't know a whole lot about Karma. I've seen her, but yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say. I would honestly be making it up. I know she's been in the comics. I can read from the back of the card. She apparently has psychic shielding. She generates a shield that counters psychic attacks, and she has psychic possession, where she projects her mind onto another person to control their actions. So yeah, that's Karma. Probably a bitch. Here we are with another dead and gone, and this time it's Colossus, who also is back. So when they made these cards, it was probably a very weird time in X-Men comics. The whole dead and gone series in here probably should just be gone because they're all back. Here we have Clarice Ferguson, Blink. She was part of our universe, but died during the Phalanx Covenant, which was the precursor to Generation X. This version of Blink comes to us from the Age of Apocalypse. She was a member of the Reality Hopping Exiles for a while, and she's become a fan favorite. We have a Precious Metals Silver Sabretooth. This was the most current version of Sabretooth. So during the Axis storyline, there was a spell cast on some villains that inverted their personalities, basically made their moral compass point the right direction. And so Sabretooth was one of these characters affected by it. Well, when the spell was reversed at the end, he was in close proximity to Iron Man, who had also been inverted to be evil. And so Iron Man continued being a douche, and Sabretooth continued being a good guy. Most recently, his homicidal tendencies seem to be bubbling back to the surface, so we'll see what happens with the character there. And closing out that pack, we've got the ex-villain Cyber, really the Wolverine villain, and if anyone should say dead and gone, it should be this guy, because Apocalypse had some killer mosquitoes, like eat all of his flesh, take that adamantium, and bond them to Wolverine, which was how Wolverine got his adamantium back after losing it during the Fatal Attraction storyline, where Magneto extracted it all from him on Asteroid M, nearly killing him. 2 packs left. Here we go with Shinobi Shaw. This is the son of Sebastian Shaw. He has the ability to phase and control his density. So, very similar to Vision or Shadowcat. One of my favorite characters here, Warren Worthington III, the Archangel. Not a fan of that artwork, but you know, is what it is. Here we go with one of the originals, old Scott Summers, Slim himself, Cyclops. Seems like the artist they picked to do these 5 cards probably did all 5. Tom Fleming. So the artist was Tom Fleming on this particular card. I'd have to go back and check that Iceman. If there's any card in the set that you saw that you liked and you'd like to know who the artist was, just give me a shout in the comments and I'll look it up for you. Because I just now noticed that the cards all have the artist on them. Here we go with M-Plate with his silver X's. Okay. M-Plate is the brother of Monet St. Croix, which was M. Actually, I think her name is pronounced Monet. She's French. Anyway, the artist on here is J.P. Target. Pretty cool little artwork there for M-Plate. Precious Metals Phoenix. Not a fan of this artwork. And of course the one I don't like, they didn't put the artist name on it, so it is what it is. But there you go, Precious Metals. And we're going to close this pack out with Trevor Fitzroy, popular bishop villain from the future. Uses the ability of people. He absorbs their life force and then uses that to control his powers, sometimes even being able to open rifts in time. And here we are with the last pack. As I said, we've already found our one-of-a-kind sketch, so it's probably not going to be anything super exciting in here. It doesn't look. I mean, I'm just looking at the style cards, not looking at the cards themselves. We're doing that together, of course. So here we go. Finishing out our unboxing. We've got Leech, one of the Morlocks. He is able to dampen powers of those that he's in close proximity to. Here's Miss Lucky herself, Domino. Nina Thurman, love interest of Cable at one time. Wolverine, Thunderbird, lots of people. In case you don't know enough of Domino, her powers are to influence probability, kind of similar to Longshot. Yeah, and of course she's a master assassin. This is probably one of my favorite cards from the whole set so far that we've opened. It's the beautiful Psylocke, Elizabeth Broderick. I'm a huge fan of this character, and this is the X-Men 92 one, so it's based off the artwork from the cartoon, which will always have a soft spot for me. The artist on this one is David Nakayama. So David, good job with that one. We have our silver card of Mask. One of the Morlocks, as well as Artie. Mask has the ability to alter her face, or his face rather, and give the impression that he's not this hideous, grotesque creature. He can also reshape his body, but only to the shape of someone else's body. So he's a shapeshifter, but he has to come into contact with someone to do it. First one of these that we've gotten is a nice foil embossed Wolverine card. So this is a puzzle card. Nice little hollow there. As you can see, he is 6 of 9. You get all 9 together like in a standard card page in a binder, and it would shows you a picture of the X-Men jumping in a battle. Pretty cool to get Wolverine right off the bat. And then the last card, pretty lackluster here, we have Eunice the Untouchable. He was a villain from the very early days of the X-Men. Probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to him is being on this card. So, there we go. Love to hear what you guys think. If anyone managed to watch through all 45 minutes of this video, thank you. Please give me all feedback on ways that I can improve. This was actually kind of fun. I enjoyed it, and I'd like to do more. But I really want to make sure that I'm adding value to you and that you're getting as much entertainment out of these as I am. So if you'd like to see the cards longer, if you'd like me to call out the artists, if you'd like a recap of which, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you a quick recap. Not of all the cards, but we'll go of the subsets. So of the silver parallels, we got Mask, Emplate, Blink, Banshee, Dead and Gone, the Phoenix, Mojo, Legion, Deadpool at Chichen Itza, X-Men 92 Jubilee, Lalandra, her sister Deathbird, and Fred Dukes The Blob. So out of 12 packs, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it said 1 in every 2 packs, but we ended up getting 1 in every pack. So no duplicates. You're looking at least 150 packs to put together one of these silver sets. This is going to be a lot of moolah. We did get 1 gold parallel. That would be Mojo. Okay. And then for our precious metals, we got Phoenix, Sabretooth, the Stepford Cuckoos, Spiral, Tempest, and the Blob again. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 of those. So basically 1 in every 2 packs. And we got 1 gold medal, Hope Summers. Okay. And then running through the super duper special ones we got, there was the Wolverine from the puzzle set, which is a throwback to the 94 X-Men. That was the subset they had. We got the buyback Magneto from Fleer Ultra 95. He's one of 20 different cards. Pretty cool. We got a Stax Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde. Again, there you go, so you can see that. So there's some artwork missing, a comic or something like that. And then we got a Stax Juggernaut. Okay. So take 2 more cards of each of those to complete that. Got this Warpath, which he's got some elements to him as well. Acetate, I believe is what it's called, where you can see through it. It's that hard plastic. And then this is 3D printed, if you could tell. So it's on top of the acetate with the nice foil name. And then finally, that one-of-a-kind sketch card we got of Domino by James O'Reilly. So this was the big winner of the box. Yeah, I wonder if anybody wants it. Maybe I can try to sell it and buy another box. Don't know. But that's pretty much going to conclude the video. You guys let me know if you enjoyed it, if there's anything you'd rather see me do, if I spent too much time talking, not enough time, if you'd like more facts. I will do my best to give you the best type of unboxing and review video I can. So please, let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. And as I like to close out in my Facebook group, make mine marvel.